So in the news this evening, Nigeria makes so much money from rolling out of 5G network. Right. And then we're going to be looking at the possibility of Nigeria making money outside of crude oil export. That is, outside crude oil export, what can we make money from in this country? And then let's also look at, diversifying your income. What are those options available for you to diversify your income? Since we're looking at, exports away from crude oil exports, right? These are the things that we'll be looking at this evening because there's quite a lot to it. We can look at tech. We can look at, tech is 5G. 5G is already giving us a lot of money, and that's tech. So we can also look at farm. Most importantly, especially because of, the recent news that Nigeria leads in yam production, but yet we did not export any. So that is to say that Nigeria is losing so much from the money they would make or they should make from yam production. Why are we not exploring other opportunities to make money at a time that we're borrowing so much? Our debt ratio right now is over 55 trillion naira, and then we still don't have hope, and then we're still letting all these other areas wallow without properly harnessing them. So that's what we're looking at today, Lagos. I'd like to hear your thought and reaction on all of this. I'll bring you details, of this shortly. But then on the other side of the show at 8 o'clock, we'll be looking at online in-laws. Bringing your relationship to online, to the online in-laws to come and judge when you have problem. How far so far? Because a particular bishop has advised couples to desist from such. Do you think is good? Because you see, that social media, sometimes you see the good, the bad, the ugly, and the well. So what people will bring you up to speed with all of these and more on the show. Stay with us. This is Evening Rush 90.3 Voice of the People FM. My name is Precious Iggy, and I am glad to be with you. I'll be back with you in a flash. Stay with us.
Sit tire for here. Put on for in neck. Burn am. Yes, I no go find better work do. Na yahoo dem go dey do. Burn am. Stop!
That person where you won't born, if it dey innocent, no go carry person blood put for your head. Jungle justice no good at all. Stop am.
You wey light the fire, you no get heart. Say no to jungle justice.
You uncle wey follow for the crowd dey look wey dem dey born person. You no stop them. E dey do you like film abi? Your hand sef no clean o. You fit enter gbege. Stop the lynching. Stop jungle justice.
Under the criminal law for Lagos State, person wey start jungle justice, those wey support am, and those wey just sit down look, all of them fit rot for jail. My name na Benjamin Hundeyin, Lagos State Police talk person. Stop jungle justice.
This message now from Lagos State Police Command
and VOP 90.3 FM.
Hello, this is your good radio pal, Citizen Jones Hussein, with the voice of the people VOP Radio 90.3 on your dial. I'll be sharing 2 solid hours of compact radio with you. Join me, Citizen Jones, every Saturday morning, 7 to 8 a.m. on newspaper headliners and 8 to 9 on Citizen Jones This Morning. Keep the date, Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9.
Successful business, or are you struggling in your business? Listen to Business Launchpad with Peter Anosike, Nigeria's #1 finance book author, every Saturday by 10:30 a.m. on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Business Launchpad, the keys to building successful businesses.
The Evening Rush with Precious, featuring sound and informed guests across various sectors to discuss matters arising on Hot Topic Party.
What was the rate of inflation, and then what was the exchange rate?
Intense conversations, critical analysis.
What is wrong with us 200 million people? We can't even give ourselves.
We sometimes disagree.
When we say our GDP, it's not an oil-dominated.
To agree.
Hey, like
what's going on here? I saw that. On Hot Topic Pali, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. 90.3 Voice of the People FM, Lagos. Now you have a voice. It is 90.3 Voice of the People FM. So, yes, it is a good news and quite the cheering one that federal government generates $547 million from the auction of 5G. And that's credited to the presidency, right? And so President Muhammad Buhari has commended the auctioning of the 5G spectrum, which generated $547 million. So the president attributed the feats to the digital economy, which had driven growth, created employment, and generated revenue for the country. So it is clear that Nigeria is gradually tilting, or has, we've understood the need to move beyond oil exports to other export, to exploring other revenues for making money. So let's look at exploring other avenues for making for generating revenue in the country. Where do I start with now? All right, so let's start here. All right, so first of all, let's start with our yam production. All right. So just day before yesterday, thereabouts. Yeah, it was day before yesterday that we heard the news of Nigeria, producing so much yam, but yet generating almost nothing from yam production. Let me even read out our story to you so you understand very well what it is about. So Nigeria's perennial failure to leverage its natural advantages to create wealth and eliminate poverty was brought into sharp relief Tuesday. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development admitted that while the country remains the world's largest yam or producer of yam, it is missing on the list of exporters. Now, the federal and state governments need to adopt effective policies to reverse this pathetic pattern of poverty amidst plenty. So stakeholders, there was quite a couple of complaints, but let's even go further, to dig into the story a bit more. So they said Nigeria is the leading producer of fresh yam, yet Nigeria is nowhere in the map of countries that export yams. Yam now. We have Onitsha yam, we have Boko yam, we have Benue yam, we have all the yams, but then we do not export. So this typifies the incompetence of the country's, as they say, some would say, the country's leadership in the national and subnational levels of transforming natural endowment into wealth. So you would agree, or you would recall, that we have a very blessed land, vast land farm in the country. You would hear one of the presidential candidates say oftentimes that I am going to turn the vast land of the north into our new crude oil. That's going to be our new crude oil, because we just let that vast land waste. Why are we letting it waste? Because there's so much, if you move from one part of the north to the other, you just see plenty of land wasting. What are we doing? How are we harnessing that part, of our economy? So, production of yam worldwide rose from 15.3 million tons to 1,971 to, that is from 1,971 to 74.92 million tons. That means it went from 15 million tons to 74.82 million tons in 2020, growing at an annual average rate of 3.6%, as it were, 3.68%. But in all of this, the country seems to be missing out in making major money from it. Now, Nigeria leads in what is called the West African Yam Belt. It and four other countries in the sub-Saharan region, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Benin Republic, and Togo, accounts for 94% of global production of yam in the world. So no other country even comes close to Nigeria. Ghana follows with between 10 and 12%, trailed by Benin, trailed by Togo, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Colombia, and Papua New Guinea. So Nigeria, is the leading yam producer in the world so far. So the country's competitive advantage is huge. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, research shows that likes of cassava and maize yam is grown in every part of this country. So not just, as you say, Benue, I'm sure that if you plant yam in a sack in your backyard in Lagos State, it will grow. So they say Benue, Taraba, Niger, Nasarawa, Kaduna, Cross River, Enugu, Oyo, Kogi, Ondo, and Delta are the highest producing states. That's why you have Onitsha yam. That's why you have Boko yam. That's why you have Taraba yam. That's why you have almost all those yams, you mentioned. But in all of this, how much money is the country making? Okay, so the poor farmers in the village, how much are they making from their farms? What are we supposed to do to ensure that our yam produce, or our produce, as it were, generally is fit for export? That is what we're looking at this evening. And then, I also like to look at it from the aspect of having or diversifying your income, because whether you like it or not, remember that we did talk about our inflation rising to 21.47%. As at November, right? We talked about that last week. And that by that inflation rise, it means that your salary has been reduced by about 35%. So if your salary is down by 35%, that is to say that if you're earning 30,000 naira, that 30,000 naira is about 19,000 naira right now. Do you understand? That is the quality and the worth of your 30,000 naira salary is now about 19,000 naira. So don't be looking at it like, I have 30,000 naira, I have money. That money has now reduced because of the value, because of what it can get you. So if we're looking at that based on what it can get you, that means it only makes sense for one to look at other means of making income or creating wealth, or diversifying, if I'd have to say that. In fact, an expert will say that it's actually a curse for one to be on just one stream of income these days. I'd rather say it's a criminal offense for you to be on one stream of income. So if you have to look elsewhere, maybe somewhere like agriculture, understanding that these days the way farming is even done, you don't even need a vast land farm anymore. You can even use a building. You can use a building now to farm your tomatoes to the level of export, to commercial level. Because you know how they do this decking thing, plant different levels and all of that. So there are new ways of farming right now. So let's understand, what can we do to ensure that our farm produce in Nigeria is fit for export, so that we can diversify our income? Because with the look of things, first of all, our oil is no longer an advantage for us, because the world is gradually tilting towards renewable energy. So whether you like it or not, one day your oil may just be a thing of the past. So even if it's not tilting towards renewable energy, but we know what is happening, right? And secondly, we're battling with our production, our oil production in the country. Thankfully, recently, oil production has significantly increased. But then how sustainable is that, considering the amount of oil that is being sucked dry from this country every year? So what can the country do? Because we are in so much debt, and this debt is being left to our children and our children and you and I to pay at the end of the day. What do we do to ensure that we can make money outside of crude oil? We have other things to do. What are those things that we can do to ensure we make money outside of crude oil? I'd like to hear from you. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. So let's talk, because this is about the end of the year. The year is coming to an end. People are making decisions that would help them, in the new year. You diversify your income. If you're looking at yam produce, how can we ensure that we're not wasting our produce, as it were? I'd like to hear your thoughts and reaction. I have a tip though, because something came up today that I'd like to, take you on. Well, let's just get to share your thoughts and reaction first of all. It is 0700 903 903 903. At this very tough time, how many streams of income do you export? One thing out of Nigeria, what would that be? Really? I'd like to know. Right. Okay, so it is 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. So elsewhere, there's actually a good news concerning this, because today, the 21st of December 2021, we hear that the African Export-Import Bank, aka Afrexim Bank, and Bureau Veritas hosted a commissioning ceremony for the opening of the African Quality Assurance Center, AQAC laboratory, somewhere in Ogun State. I think it's in Shagamu that happened. So now the idea of all of this is, okay, so let me read the story straight from the papers first, and I'll let you know. So the African Quality Assurance Center, that's what it is a wholly owned subsidiary of Afrexim Bank. Of course, Afrexim Bank, in support of agricultural produce and all of that. Fund for Africa Export Development, it is an initiative that aims to establish internationally accredited quality assurance centers to improve Africa's ability to comply with international standards and technical regulations required to promote export and facilitate intra and extra African trade. Now, let me explain to you why this is important. You would recall that earlier in the year, I just need to go back to the story. You would recall that earlier in the year, we heard that about 82% of Nigeria's export agro-allied products were rejected in Europe and other shippers. Why? Because some people were saying, oh, our farm produce have too much of chemicals. In fact, let me look for that story and read it out to you so you won't be hearing it from my mouth. So they said Shippers Association of Nigeria, SALS, has said that 82% of Nigeria's exported agro-allied products are either seized or rejected in Europe. Now, according to a statement signed by SALS President Reverend Jonathan Nicol, the group also attributed the quest for a more conducive trade environment to the lingering effects of agitations, lawlessness, and other negative consequences experienced in Nigeria in 2021. Now, he called, I'll give you details of this. Stay with us.
Oh yes, Lagos people, papa, mama, sister, brother, auntie, plus including uncle them. Better don't land for Lagos State gidigba. Money will be for Lagos State, then go use them for Lagos State. Wella, no more baba sope. They no go chop Lagos State money. Nobody go pocket Lagos State. Then go take and build Lagos State, build road, build hospital, build houses, and now only one man fit do this job. He name na Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran Jando. He can't carry one obonge person as the deputy governor. Her name na Funke Akindele. My people, what do we wait for? Make we vote for light, vote for change. No be the kind change where they vote before. This one na the original change. How Amumu don't do. Pay they pay. Everybody
When I finish downloading this show like this, I will go straight to Tayo's house to eat sweet jollof. Then enjoy this movie on YouTube. It's just that Tayo will now start disturbing me to turn on my Wi-Fi for him when he can easily enjoy data bonus with MTN for me. With MTN for me, you will get 100% data bonus and discounted data bundles just like that. What are you waiting for? Dial *121# to get started with MTN for me.
Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
When I finish downloading this show like this, I will go straight to Tayo's house. He can easily enjoy data bonus with MTN for me. With MTN for me, you will get 100% data bonus and discounted data bundles just like that. What are you waiting for? Dial *121# to get started with MTN for me.
This is your number one radio station at BOP 90.3 FM.
When I finish downloading this show like this, I will go straight to Tayo's house to eat sweet jollof. Then enjoy this movie on YouTube. It's just that Tayo will now start disturbing me to turn on my Wi-Fi for him when he can easily enjoy data bonus with MTN for me. With MTN for me, you will get 100% data bonus and discounted data bundles just like that. What are you waiting for? Dial *121# to get started with MTN for me.
This is your number one radio station at BOP 90.3 FM.
90.3 Voice of the People FM, that's where you are. Welcome back from that break. And yes, before we went on break, we're breaking down our yam produce, our yam production level and exports level and all of that. And we were actually talking about the reason why why we're not exporting so much. Is it that reason? Yeah, we're looking at the percentage of our produce that is being rejected or that is rejected across the world. Generally, that's what we're looking at. I told you, I was telling you before the break that the Shippers Association of Lagos has said that 82% of Nigeria's exported agro-allied products are either seized or rejected in Europe. All right. And then, so it is also noted that the restrictions on foreign exchange will be counterproductive as a lot of industries will be grossly affected by the policy. I went on and on with that. But the most important thing is that, most of our produce or farm produce is being, rejected in Europe and other parts of the world by shippers too. And I could remember last year that there was a report also that came out from one of those countries that one of the reasons why they reject a lot of our produce is because it's high in chemical, maybe these fertilizers and all of those chemical, like all those farming chemicals, like insecticide and all of those things you use in your farm. It affects your crops or quality of the crops or the produce. So that's one of the reasons that our produce is rejected. And then I was also telling you about a particular center that has just been inaugurated in Lagos State, or Ogun State, I beg your pardon, and that is the African Quality Assurance Center. May I tell you that prior to this launch of African Quality Assurance Center by Afrexim Bank today, that every produce or every farm produce that leaves the shores of Nigeria to any other part of the world is first of all accredited in Ghana first, because Ghana is like the closest accreditation center that there is before this launch today. So we could say that this launch today is like, a step in the right direction to ensure that Nigerian farmers have quicker and faster access to, accrediting their produce before they sell. So the good thing is that, So the good thing is that this particular, the Afrexim Bank is in partnership with Bureau Veritas. They will operate the Bureau Veritas will operate the facility, which will provide testing, certification, and inspection services to food and agri products for export as well as domestic consumption. So even the produce or the products or the farm produce that you would eat, even while the crop is out, they would have to test it for certification, for quality, and all of that, these criteria before it is. So it's a good one. We're excited about it. But then again, we may want to ask, okay, so prior to this time, what were we doing? So I got a message from YouTube, someone saying that, let me read that message. And the person says, it's one love. He says that the yam we eat in Canada is from Ghana. I spoke to the woman selling in the African store. She complained that Nigerian yams need to be washed to meet Canada standard. And meanwhile, remember that prior to this launch of this center today, Ghana was the closest accreditation center. That is to say that, remember also that Nigeria tops Ghana in yam production. So is it possible that some of this yam produce that, is set to be coming from Ghana are the ones sent from Nigeria to Ghana for accreditation? So one law father said that the problem is from foreign countries putting unrealistic standards. Give example of banana. It has to have a certain shape and look. Okay. All right. I see your response. So Lagos, the phone lines are open. We'd like to hear from you. 0700-903-903-903. That's the number to call. Let's take your thought and reaction on this conversation. By the way, the president, Muhammad Buhari, was built to be in that event today, at the launch of this accreditation center in Ogun State. But I think he sent the Minister for Trade and Investment. I think one of the ministers, represented him in that event. So we would like to know, what do you think? First of all, do you have, what do you think about Nigeria producing so much yam, being the leading country in yam production, yet we're not earning money in yam production? Do you think that this, the launch of this center would make any difference in our export or in the export of our agri produce moving forward, especially come 2023? I'd like to hear your thought and reaction. Lagos, it is 0700-903-903-903. That's the number to call. And if you had an opportunity, would you take up farming as your plan B or stream B income? Is this something you're likely to do? Remember that farming has gone beyond needing a big land farm, a vast of land, though, because I have seen people who were able to farm so much tubers of yam just by bagging the yam in their backyards. Like you have space in your backyard, you just put the yam seedling or the yam head inside a bag and put sand in a sack of bag or in sacks, and then put the yam head there, and then it just grows, and it grows to very large tuber of yam and all of that. So I'd like to hear from you. Do you see us making more money from non-oil produce moving forward? Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
You. Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
My name is Captain Salisu.
Captain Salisu, you're welcome. Are you a farmer?
Yes.
I like. Are you educators, please?
I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer.
Okay.
I have my farm in my place down there in Kogi State.
Oh wow, excellent.
There's no way somebody somewhere would tell me the Nigerian yam or the Ghana yam is better than the Nigerian yam.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect a foul play there. I suspect a foul play. You see, if you don't like it, so the thing is that our foreign policy needs to be reviewed from time to time, because these people, they are hell bent on making sure they give us a bad name. And our African brothers too, we should just be careful. We should just be careful. You know, if you are not there, that is it. If you are not there to tell them how you are, what to promote what you have, somebody else will promote this. All these monies that people are taking in the name of going for symposium, exhibition, are they just going there to see and come back? Can somebody go there and tell them, "Kai, my own yam is better than every other African yam"?
Okay, so do you think that most of those standards or criteria, you know, it's a bit too much for Nigeria to meet? Do you think that the standard is too high?
It's just a way of pushing us behind. It's just a way of pushing us behind because we are not ably represented at the foreign forum there. Yes. And if your uncle or your father is there where they are making the decisions, he will not make a decision that will affect you now. Our people need the foreign affairs. They need to do something in collaboration with Ministry of Agri. As regards our export, we have the best. Everything about Nigeria is the best in Africa here. So if somebody should tell me that Ghana yam is better than Nigeria, that is going to shoot up my BP.
Oh, please, let your BP be coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling us. Thank you. Apologies, Ekbelesa. 0700 Lagos 903 903 903. That's the number to call. Let's get to hear from you. So do you see Nigeria raking in more money next year, irrespective of what the flood did to us this year, right? Do you see us raking in more money from crude oil exports next year, especially with the launch of this AQAC in Ogun State? Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Precious.
Yes, a very good evening to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
How are you today? My name is Franklin. I'm calling from Agro Palace.
Franklin, you're welcome. I'm doing okay. At least I have wheels, so I'm happy.
Okay. You see, let me tell you something. I was a farmer. I was a farmer when I was.
You were one.
I was a farmer.
Okay.
You see, the problem we are having is this: government is not committed to agricultural produce. Let me start an instance. If you come to Lagos, I am talking to you as I was a typical farmer. I know.
Why did you? When you say you were, why did you stop? Sorry, I had to cut you there.
When I was at my teenager's age,
okay,
I trained myself. Part of what I used to train myself to assist my father in my school. I'm talking to you as someone that is experienced, Precious. You see, let me start an instance for you. If you come to Lagos now, you see a lot of fire trucks and everything everywhere. Do you see sometimes with my experience, why do we have scarcity or exorbitant price of red palm oil as a result of fire? Amatan, I called my village and they said, Amatan is in place. Before you realize fire will engulf all those farms, you burn everything in the farm. At the you have a farm settlement system that government will go to that place and then assist them. If there's a fire, they assist them. I have more than 2 hectares of cocoa land, which I planted. Fire engulfed everything. The one that my father is in, fire engulfed everything. Let me cite as what they call a standard. You understand now? We have organic and inorganic foods. To God be the glory, I'm a quality control and quality assurance person today. I started my career with, I don't want to mention them so that I will not pay for advice.
Oh, please don't. Thank you.
From one of the known palm oil PSC. These are organic. Nobody ever rejected the red palm oil from that.
I'm telling you, do you know that right now we're not importing palm oil from Indonesia? Do you know we're now importing palm oil? I don't even want to go to that area.
Mention the name of the state. Permit me to mention the name of this. It's from Ondo State. I don't want to mention the name of the state.
All right, okay.
You understand now? All those big companies here, they come, they buy in plus. What we test for is free fatty acid. You understand? They are pure organic. You cannot go to Jankara market or you go to Bodija market or you go Aswane market, go and buy or you want to export it. They want to test it. There are some requirements. Let me start an instance. If you are testing your coke, sorry, I'm very sorry about that. If you are testing the material, there's some. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Sometimes you don't let me use a sample of your phone or your electronic gadget. They say pass QC, pass quality control. So what I'm trying to say is that in the station in Southwest here, we are not used to fertilizer. They are pure organic. There's no way you take all those people.
Yeah, so that means you will be free of those chemicals that cause those rejection.
You understand now? I eat organic food. If I want to eat, I send to my village as a chemist. Because most of the I want to tell you, there was a day I ate a carrot here. I nearly died because that's what I take fruit. And I tried my investigation and saw what happened. You understand now? We need to improve all those countries. People love organic. That's why they are coming here. It's not about you plant yam, you go to Buffy State, you go to all those, go and buy yam, I want to export it. They will test the quality control, they don't compromise it. So God give me glory today, I'm in the oil and gas sector. I'm seeing the quality control and quality assurance. You know what I'm going to say? So the government should help, encourage us where we have a fertile land. And it's not possible, precious, that you go to a place in the Southwest where there is a natural palm district, you export it, it will not fit. Quality test. But you can't go to the market, you go and buy drum and all those kinds of things. It will not pass. But you want to tell you, say this is a conspiracy. It's not conspiracy. You cannot go and use MPK fertilizer, those things. All those things comes out to precipitate.
So you know one thing I realized from this new quality assurance center, African Quality Assurance Center, we hear that they will even start the quality assurance from the soil testing. So it's not like they wait for the produce to come out. So it's from even the soil, so that before your produce even comes out, it won't be rejected. Exactly. So do you think that would help in increasing our exports moving forward?
Okay, let me start an instance for you. Like my cocoa that time when I was still young then. The cocoa, only you get a year cocoa, except the one that are affected by the what they call, you see, black pod or another those kinds at that time. Those ones with black, the good one they will grade it, they will tell you this one apart. They segregate it and they get the pure one. Because you don't use fertilizer for cocoa. Cocoa will equally pass all those things. But any other one that all the subsistence farming and all those kinds of things, you take vegetable there. But you know, we test when they see a trace of all those things there, because those people don't digest in the system, they precipitate. They will give you a standard. This is what we want. Not just go to the market and say, I hear that they buy this thing for London. You go to the market, they go and buy. You know, it will not pass quality control test. So like what we are trying to say, you go to, you know, there are some this thing that they have a particular soil that will suit their purpose. Where you are supposed to, like in cocoa now, you have to look for a clay soil. You understand what I'm trying to say? These are the things you understand now. You can never say all those things from cocoa. But it's not possible. I'm telling you, the quality control, you don't compromise it. You don't compromise. That's why we are not getting it right.
Thank you.
You can't go to this thing. You plant it naturally. You test the soil. You see, all those will not come back because there are some root tuber. Immediately you put it, you apply it, you continue to absorb it. They precipitate the system. A trace with a sensitive instrument will show for me. So that's why we are not getting it right. I'm still planning to go back for farming.
You should. Are you not looking at it as your plan B income? I mean, everyone should have a plan B income right now.
It's my plan B. When I listen, I'm going back fully to agriculture. I'm going back to cocoa production and palm oil.
Great. Thank you so much. So speaking of cocoa production and palm oil, remember there was a time that Nigeria was the leading palm oil, rubber, cocoa, and what's that again? Yeah, all of those exporters. So Nigeria topped most of those countries. I mean, when did Malaysia start producing oil? That Nigeria was way ahead of these countries. What happened? What changed? Looks like immediately we saw palm oil, crude oil, everything just changed. Our entire attention rubber plantation is no longer a thing. I'm not even sure we export rubber anymore. So that's now like history. I could remember very well my great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather I heard made so much money from rubber exportation, and he made millions from it back in the days. or thousands of hundreds as at then, though. And then even palm oil. So what is happening now? Why are we paying too much attention to just crude oil production and crude oil export, as it were? So let me break down to you some of the stories that will shock you. So we hear that Nigeria imports about 3.49 billion naira. That is, we import though. We use about 3.49 billion naira to import things like fish, eggs, milk, gari, palm oil. All of these things we produce. All right. So let me break it down to you. So fish, poultry, eggs, milk, dairy, and fish products worth 3.49 billion naira were imported into Nigeria in the last 2 years. That is between 2021 and 2022. You could even say between late 2020 and late 2022. Right? And this statistics is actually according to the International Trade Center, so you could go look it up yourself. So they said within this time under review, fish products worth 2.14 or 2.14 billion dollars were imported into the nation. You could tell I want to eat Titus, I want to eat I like this kind of fish, I like that kind of fish. They're all imported fish. So when you eat Titus, it's imported. You think Titus is grown from is from a river? No, they're all imported. All right. And then we also hear that so Titus fish, frozen fish, fish fillets, and other fish meats, whether or not minced, fresh, chilled, or frozen fish, dried, salted, or in brine, smoked fish, flours, meals, and pallets of fish were all imported with this amount of money. Then they also included crustaceans, whether in shell or not, live, fresh, chilled, frozen, dried, salted, or even in brine, even smoked, flour meals, and pallets. All of these things were things that we imported. Then flours, like meals and pallets of fish. In fact, all of this is it. Let me even go further. I think there's somewhere I saw in this news that dairy products imported, including milk and cream, buttermilk, curdled milk and cream, yogurts. All of these things we are importing into our country. Then what are we doing with our malus? With all the cow we have, and we're importing all this milk. All right, acidified milk and cream milk. Whey products consisting of natural milk constituents, whether or not containing added sugar or other sweetening matter, butter, including dehydrated butter, and and all of that were imported. So also included were cheese and curd, birds, eggs we imported within the last 2 years, both in shell, preserved or cooked, birds, eggs, not in shell, and egg yolks. All of these things were things that I can't keep naming them. The one that will shock you the most is when I saw the Gary, I said, what is going on? So this, they said, is despite an acknowledgement by stakeholders that the continued importation of fish and dairy products is depleting the nation's foreign reserve. Money we don't have, the foreign reserve we don't have, dollar that we don't have, we're using it to import all of this produce. Is it that our local farmers are not producing enough? Then how come we are topping, for instance, in yam production? And then why can't we export most of those produce that we have in excess production? What are we doing? So recently, the Minister of Agriculture, in the past about 2-3 months ago, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mohammed Mahmoud, disclosed that the nation's yearly fish import bill of about 2.4 billion metric tons of frozen fish was taking a toll to its foreign exchange reserves. So he said Nigeria is a very large country. We need about 3.6 million metric tons per annum to be able to meet up in a hotter. In fact, I'll get further to the but let me just take a few calls and I'll break it down further to you, because we also hear that we import palm oil, gari, and all of those from Malaysia, Indonesia, China. Gari, palm oil. It is sad. Hello, good evening to you. All right, I lost that call already. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. It is 6. So just to let you know that if you want to do a WhatsApp, you can do it to our WhatsApp line 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening.
Pretty precious.
Mr. Darlington.
You have fuel now, B?
Yes, I have fuel. I have fuel. You did not give me fuel. I refused to supply me. So I had to hustle.
Don't worry. Wherever it comes from, Blessed be to God.
Thank you. All right, so Mr. Darlington, this agricultural thing is really very worrisome, right? And
very, 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 very precious.
Sir?
You remember one Akiwumi Adesina?
Oh yes. See one
In
Akiwumi
fact,
Adesina,
that
like one
man-
Godwin
That
Emefiele.
man was a world-class agriculturist.
Yes.
Obasanjo brought him, Jonathan used him. What that man did in the agri sector in this country brought acclaim to him and to Nigeria. People were coming here to see what that man did. The agri value chain. He did everything from the head to the toe on how this thing will work. And people were coming here to copy it. This government came in, they jettisoned everything. They threw away everything as if the past government was the devil himself. And that is where we became what we are now in food production. Under Awudogbe, we sent rice, we sent yam and beans to Europe. They tested it and declared that the chemical content is too high for human consumption.
Yes, exactly. So even last year, some produce that were sent last year were also
They
rejected.
sent it back. Precious. I didn't hear that the government destroyed it. Rather, they circulated it in the market and you and I consumed it. So, by implication, most Nigerians are moving chemical industry.
Don't
When they
scare us.
open us,
Don't scare
you
us,
see
please.
all manner of chemical inside us. So are you surprised when the hospital can no longer contain the number of patients that are going there? Something they rejected. We consumed it here, and these people, once they what kind of human being are these people? The Danish ambassador said that we have 22 million heads of cattle. Why are we importing dairy food from their country?
Exactly, milk.
The man was embarrassed. They have 10 million, and we have 22 million yet. You see, this is one of the reasons why I am so angry with this administration. You know that your people are the leaders in that industry. Why not add value to this business they are doing? I expected Buhari, look, my people, come. The world have changed, you. Rehabilitate these people. Give them a pride of place. Resettle them. Give them everything so that they can add value to this cattle they are rearing. Buhari did not do that. It's not as if there's no space. As I talk to you today, Precious, Niger State is the size of the entire Southwest.
Yes,
in landmass.
Very, very large in landmass.
Why can't you? They have even invited these people. Come, we have all the land you need. Kano have told them. Kogi have told them. Kogi is the size of the entire Southeast. Precious, there is land mass. So which land are they coming here to be struggling with farmers, raping women in their farmland? I expected Buhari to call his people. If it is the only thing he can do to them, there is land to resettle these people. Give them everything. All these things will end. Everything from the beginning to the end. You have a dairy industry there. You have the leather industry there. You have the milk industry. Everything. Provided there, you will see that a full animal will become proud of himself. Buhari did not do that. So if he leaves office now, will they continue with this thing they are doing? Will people be happy with them? No, tell me, what will be the lot of the full animal when Buhari leaves office? That's why they are blaming yesterday the people that he disappointed and he did not take care of them, this and that. Yes, now, I expected him to have done that, knowing fully well that the world is changing. They can't continue like this. This business they are doing, they are not adding value. They are not even enjoying it. And Buhari is there. Instead of him to look at the future of the Fulani people in Nigeria, He left it and is pursuing vainglory, selfish agenda. From Ruga to cattle colony. What came out of it? What came out of it? Something you should have done by facts, since they respect him a lot. You should have resettled them. And you will see these people adding value to this business they're doing. Yet, he left them. They are now roaming all over the place looking for land. Sharing small land that is not enough for farmers. That is why we are where we are today. Okay, look at where after all these years, they are now coming now to check the chemical content in our farm products. What were they doing all this while? Precious, what were they doing all this while?
Well, for this particular one, it's actually a Frexim Bank that is leading this. I mean, that led this center.
What were they doing? What are Kiwumi Adesina left on the inner sort? You mean they've not seen it? Tell me they have not seen it. No, tell me that we never had this idea before. You see, when somebody is pursuing selfish interest, that's what happens. He will neglect the really important thing and is pursuing vainglory. Now that he is leaving office, what do you say he had left behind for his Fulani herdsmen? What did he achieve for them? Nothing.
Thank you,
Precious,
Mr. Darlington.
nothing. And look at where we are now. Food production that we used to be ahead, nothing. We used to be ahead in cassava. Now we are not there because Fulani herdsmen wouldn't want anybody to farm. They'll go and finish the crops. Will this continue after Buhari list? It's not possible now. You and I know. Nobody will be happy with the Fulani men, with what they are doing all over the place. So what have Buhari done for them? Nothing. Nothing. And tomorrow you tell me he has achieved something. He did not achieve anything, no. They should blame him. Because he had the power, he had the opportunity to give these people a pride of place. A pride of place. All the technology is there. The full animal will be so proud of the business they are doing. If you want, you go there and meet them and do business with them. They don't need to be walking all over the place, disturbing people in their farm. That is why we are doing all this one now. Do you think they will even allow this one to succeed? Wouldn't they go there and disturb them in Ogun State? No, wouldn't they go there? You remember it was this Ogun State that they wrote to a community that they are coming to attack them. Remember? And Buhari is there. And you know this, he's kissing and he went behind all these things. It's unfortunate though. It's unfortunate. Whenever I hear this type of it irritates me as if we don't know what to do.
But at the end of the day, it affects all of us. I mean, it does affect all of us. So,
it doesn't affect them. Does Buhari know how much food is costing in the market?
Oh, please stop.
Does he know?
Please stop, Mr. Darlington. Thank you so much.
No, he doesn't know now. I mean, is it not obvious? He doesn't know. He can never know. The supplier at the end of the day, they give him check. He doesn't know what is going on there. That's it. If not, he would have done something about it. As a farmer, he should have done something about it. My question is, what legacy will Buhari leave for farmers? Being a farmer.
But this has been done. So farmers in Nigeria no longer have to take their crops or their goods far away to Ghana or European countries for certification and quality assurance. So this is a good news. It's close home here. And whether Mr. Darlington, you would agree with me that Ogun State is like the agricultural industrial hub. You will agree.
You didn't hear me. I said, will they allow you to see the light of day?
But it is here. It started already. It was just launched today. So let's see how we give it time.
Didn't you see many ideas that came up that didn't last a day? Didn't you have? Have you heard of
Mr. Darlington, I'm due for a break.
I told you what
I'm due for a break. Let me quickly run, please. I'll get back to you. Thank you.
I will go straight to Tayo's house to eat sweet. Downloading this show like this, I will go straight to Tayo's house to eat sweet. When I finish downloading this show like this, I will go straight to Tayo's house to eat sweet jollof. Then enjoy this movie on YouTube. It's just that Tayo will now start disturbing me to turn on my Wi-Fi for him when he can easily enjoy data bonus with MTN for me. With MTN for me, you will get 100% data bonus and discounted data bundles just like that. What are you waiting for? Dial *121# to get started with MTN for me.
Hi, I'm Rufai Hussaini. Join my brother, Joseph Edgar. This December, we've got 4 exciting plays tagged Encore.
Our Duke has gone mad again. A bold and audacious satirical masterpiece on the 10th of December. Ufokiban, an exciting but emotionally packaged play depicting the brave women of Ikorabasi who stood for their beliefs and lost their lives on the 11th of December. Awo, a powerful musical that wowed Vice President Professor Oshibajo and other dignitaries on the 17th and 18th of December. Come see what the Olu of Wari saw in Ogiemi Orejuwa II, an explosive display of beautiful Shekiri culture featuring legendary actor Patrick Doyle on Christmas and Boxing Days. All plays will show at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. at the Muson Center Unicon. Hurry and get your tickets. Festival tickets 70,000, VIP 20,000, regular 5,000. Tickets are available at ariatickets.com, Terra Culture and Muson Center. This event is proudly sponsored by Lekki Gardens, Wema Bank, Anko Insurance, Zenith Bank, LIRS, First Bank, Amstel Malta, Abbey Mortgage Bank, EOP 90.3 FM, EKDC and V Bank. History is playing games. You be the judge.
My most sincere apologies there to our last caller, Mr. Darlington. We had to really go on break. In fact, it practically cut off on us. 0700 Lagos 903 903 903. That's the number to call. We are looking at Nigeria's ability to diversify her exports. Are we likely to make more money from other areas apart from only crude oil? Are we expecting to export much more, at least to increase our forex, right? Because somewhere in the news I just told you that Nigeria made about $547 million from 5G auctioning. That's a good thing. That's huge. Almost 4 billion naira thereabouts. Yeah, so that's quite some money, right? I'll be 400 billion, 4 billion. I'll calculate. So that's actually good, very good amount of money. And then we are looking forward to us, exploring like agriculture. We are so blessed in land farms. So, when Mr. Darlington was talking about our exports, and I just did remember that, the kind of opportunity we have in cassava, because cassava is so huge. Did you know that there are lots of other things you could do with cassava apart from gari? I mean, the cassava flour that was started by the last administration, I don't know if it was ever sustained. I don't know if there's still a thing like cassava flour till now. Why are we not, looking at things, potential of all our agri-produce and what we can use them to do, and then how we can actually export them so that we reduce the pressure on our naira? All this dollar is high. It's because it's only crude oil, and they say subsidy is taking everything. And that's what we're suffering, right? Let me hear from you, Lagos. 0700 903 903 903. So with this quality assurance, Africa Quality Assurance Center that has just been launched in Ogun State, which makes room for farmers within Nigeria and other parts of Africa to have a closer place where they can certify their produce or their farm produce. Do you think it's a good opportunity for people to actually think of diversifying to farming and then exporting their farm produce? Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening, precious, my sister.
Good evening, my brother. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Beautiful night to you.
Thank you.
My name is Koro from Nigeria State. First of all, you need to ask yourself a question.
What's that?
How many countries in the world that are living by crude oil? That is the number one question that everybody needs to ask. I don't want to talk so much. Either do I want to campaign, and because I'm not a politician, and I will never be. Nigerians may not understand exactly what Tito D has in mind by telling them that he wants to move Nigeria from consumption to production. They may think that is a political jingle or something of that nature. No, because he has understanding where he's going. That is why the Bible says the children of Issachar had understanding of the time. They know what Israel ought to do. Are you getting my message?
I can hear you, but just that the volume of your radio set is high, so I can feel a hold back from the background. That is causing a bit of distraction. But go ahead.
I am saying that that Nigeria understand exactly what P2B has in mind by telling them that he wants to move this country from consumption to production.
Because one need to ask a question. How many countries in the world that are living by crude oil? That is the question we need to ask ourselves. It's because of out of ignorance that people center their mind and everything all about Nigerians center their mind, everything about them in oil. Forgetting that oil can dry one day, they will not see it again. It's very, very sad situation. So we should look away from where we are now to see what we can do in order to be a prosperous country. And I believe that it is a high time that everybody will come to a table of discussion so that we will ask ourselves questions. Well, what do we want? Like I keep on saying, what do you want? Not what somebody wants from you. And if you know exactly what you need for yourself, you will pursue it without looking at the back. So this is what all I want to tell you this night. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I do appreciate your input. It's 0700 Lagos 903 903 903. That's the number to call. So One Love from YouTube said, I agree with the last caller. You need lobbyists for our products or our produce. Our leaders are the problem. Our avocado is the best in the world, but is it even appreciated anyway? We can't tell. Hello, good evening to you. Hello. Hello. Hello, are you there? Good evening. All right, 0700 903 903 90. So we have the best avocado in the world. Then what's happening to it? Why are we not exporting it so much? Why are we not making money from that? Yeah, different. See, when they say there are many ways to kill a rat, we can. It's not a crime for us to get source forex from here, and different places. We don't have to put all our attentions at in one place. Yes, we know that right now we've seen oil in the north, we've seen in other parts of the country, but then even when the world is even moving to renewable energy, away from that oil that we pay so much attention to, what do we need to do to ensure that we survive and revive this economy? Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, madam.
Yes, a very good evening to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Please, I'm doing that call your network concerning call about Kemi.
Kemi? I don't understand. Kemi about what?
I called. I say that I'm on respect of somebody. I just want to speak with the person, Kemi.
Okay, you didn't call me. I think it's maybe the last program you called. I'm sorry. It's not me.
You said what, madam?
I don't think it's me you called. I think it's the last program you called. Apologies.
Okay. So how can I speak with Kemi now?
I don't know who Kemi is.
Why are you stressing me like this, man? Please,
I cannot be stressing you. I don't know who Kemi is. You can do a WhatsApp message. I think it's better for you. If you can hear me, please do a WhatsApp message. Let's get to understand what you're saying. Then we can respond to you via WhatsApp. All right, Lagos. If you're watching from, YouTube and you want to reach us via WhatsApp, from the diaspora, 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, please.
Good evening. It's Prince calling.
Prince calling from where?
From Lagos.
All right, Prince, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate your program.
Thank you.
Because you have an insight into it. Somewhere along the line, ignorance is very, 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 very hard. When we talk about our product in Nigeria, our product is one of the products expert in the whole world.
But he failed a lot of tests when they were exported to other countries. Even as early as this year, as early as this year, he still failed some tests. That you have too much chemical in your product. So how can it be the best in the world and still has plenty chemical in it?
Let me tell you. Our cassava, even the common ori, that is the one they call shea butter.
Shea butter.
Yeah, shea butter. Bitter cola. Dogonya. You see as I'm calling it out? These are the most expensive articles that are going in the world market today from Nigeria. The best ever banana in the whole world is from Nigeria. Let me tell you the truth. Now, even common ori that came from Nigeria, the best ori ever is from Nigeria.
But we hear that the best is in Ghana now.
I'm telling you, listen. I'm telling you, my wife is on the business. I know what I'm telling you. Let me show something to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you know that a bag of bitter cola is up to 280,000 naira?
My wow.
Bitter cola. And as I'm talking to you now, what makes Nigeria, even as we are seeing our budget now, is supposed to have been okay, let's support the exporters, sensitize them. Let it be that the young men that doesn't have jobs have another link that international communities will value us as our business partner, as being a business partner to them to boost their own economy, instead of them looking at us as we are running from our fatherland for us to be a slave in their land. Somewhere along the line, I look into this, there is no sensitization. When a certain politician is saying that he's moving it from consumption to production, there are articles, there are things that make him do something out of experience. This is a man who has made a plot of land, vegetable, olive leaf, exported it to embark on some certain project in his own native land, in his own state, and write a fund that he left after for another governor to take over from him. Why is it that our government cannot sponsor Fulani herdsmen? Give them a place, sensitize them, let them be labeled, let them be known, let them be known in a particular place so that these people will not be creating havoc to humanity. All those things.
What has that got to do? What has that got to do with the export of our produce that we're talking about? Let's just go straight to the point, please.
Huh?
We're talking about the export of our farm produce.
Now, let me tell you, when you talk about the Fulani herdsmen now,
can we focus? Can we just focus so that it doesn't look like this is about just, talking about a particular tribe? Please focus.
No. When we talk about the Easterners in palm oil and some other agricultural areas, we talk about the Northerners in yam production, in Malu, and so on and so forth. There is no way that government is helping them so that these people cannot be creating violence. So, for instance, if they are being said, okay, let us sponsor you, let us help you, let us sensitize you, they will know the value of the Malu, the value of the cow that they are working along with. After all, they are just like a caretaker. Some other people invested in them, and they are.
All right, thank you. 0700 Lagos 903 903 903. That's the number to call. This is the Voice of the People, 90.3 FM, and my name is Precious Inyi. And this evening we're looking at our ability to diversify our export, especially tilting towards the export of our agricultural produce in such a way that it will be internationally acceptable. Hello, good evening to you.
Yeah, Precious. Let me finish my thought.
Okay, apologies. We had to go on a break,
In US, the farmers in that place that are producing their food items are just 7% of the population. And America is 310 million in population. 7%. That will tell you how highly skilled their farmers are. In Nigeria, it's almost 50%. Yet we cannot even meet up.
It cannot be 50%. That means, one in every two of us. One in every two of us is a farmer. Nah. That's not true.
Hold on. Precious.
Sir?
That means you don't even know the statistics.
Okay, sir.
Do you know this tractor they use in farm products?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good. In the whole of Nigeria, you have 50.
That's quite poor.
I said the 50, and it is on selected farm, big time farmers in the north. Every other thing is subsistence agriculture. They use hoe and market. Hoe. How far can you go with that?
That's why it's called subsistence. That's because they're farming for their own, for their own consumption. They're not looking at farming for exports or for commercial purpose.
Not to talk of taking it to the nearest market in the village. That is the problem here. We are not doing agriculture. With all the farmland we have. Government is not paying attention. It just lip service. The North have always talked of population. Imagine if they put this population into use. Precious, imagine. Where is the granite pyramid in Kano today? Where is it? The land that have produced the granites in the 60s, has the land disappeared? Precious, has the land disappeared? So it is the government. They are the ones that are misdirecting the people. If the government wants to put eyes in agriculture today, no youth will be unemployed. I'm telling you. People will be proud to be farmers, knowing fully well that, yes, you are doing something. But here, nobody is saying that. You can't even get all the inputs. You can't have them. You can't. So if government wants to change this narrative, they should pay attention. The same attention they are paying to oil, crude oil, they should pay the same attention to agriculture. Because that is what the people understand best. I am telling you, all these northern youth that have run to Lagos here because of insecurity, they should take them back. The same way Ghana, Rawlings took Ghana back to Ghana from Nigeria. Let the government begin to change the narrative. And the way to begin is to stop these bandits and all these people terrorizing farmers in the north. That is how to begin. Except you stop it, people will be afraid to go to farm. And we are going to suffer for it. Benue that used to be the food basket of Nigeria, where is it today? Most of them are in IDP camp. Pressure, our farmers are in IDP camp. And they are producing children there like normal business. So how can we move forward under this condition? That is why I keep saying that being a farmer, Buhari should have done something for farmers, so that tomorrow he will be remembered for it. But nobody is paying attention. African Exim Bank is now coming to teach us how to ensure quality products in our farm produce. Is that not an embarrassment? Don't we have agriculturists here? So don't we have? Why must people always come and teach us what we should naturally do for ourselves? With all the natural resources we have. It's an embarrassment. We can't feed ourselves. Look at the hunger. 5 million people just entered into poverty circle just last week. The World Bank is now counting for Nigerians how many poor people they have. It's that they just put a radar to be monitoring how many people go into poverty every minute of the day in Nigeria. With all we have, that is my concern. With all we have, if we are not blessed, I will say, okay, God is not fair to us. But look at what we are doing with what we are giving. You can imagine. So my concern is that don't jubilate about Ogun State, because this government, nothing worse. Every good idea die natural death. They have steel bats. All their ideas, they suffer steel bats.
So they have steel bats.
Every good thing that has come up, it suffers steel bats. Precious. The crude oil industry is selling high in the international market today. But in Nigeria, we are not getting anything out. In fact, this is the time that NNPC is generating nothing. Is that not the contradiction of the highest order? People are raking millions because of what happened between Russia and Ukraine. But in Nigeria, we are returning nothing. NNPC is returning $0 to the coffers of the government. And you and I are here just looking at as if it is normal. Nothing works here. Every good idea dies in Nigeria. Every good idea dies in Nigeria. And nobody is talking about it. Nobody. Very shameful. Very, very shameful. In fact, I don't know how to start analyzing this issue. Because it's as if nobody is in Nigeria. That the people here, we are behind the human race. We are behind human race. Everything is all about politics. The only business that thrives in Nigeria today is politics. How to win an election, how to buy votes, how to do all manner of things to be on top. Nobody is talking of any other thing. Go to America, 7% producing food for 300 million, and they are exporting. In America today, food is not a problem, it's a given. No matter how poor you are, you can't go to bed hungry in America. It's there, it's a given. But here, look at it. With what we have, it's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. I'm not jubilating yet. I'm not. You see this Ogun State. I'm not jubilating yet. Until Fulani herdsmen and other people, other terrorists allow it to stand. That's when I say, okay. If they will not go there tomorrow, and if you take over that land, they will take over farmland. What are you talking about? They will occupy that place and tell you nobody will farm here. Then what will you do? What will happen to your idea? Is it not on land that you do farm?
It's not a farmland. It's a laboratory where you test your things. So it's not a farmland per se.
Hold on. What you are going to test in the lab, where do you farm it? Is it not on land? If they don't bring their product to the laboratory, what are you going to test? That is the issue now. The moment they see this thing working, I say, okay, so you want to no more farming, they will stop it. Then let me see what you are going to test and what you are going to export. Precious.
Sir?
We should be praying to God, though. In fact, it has gotten to a level where we'll be wailing like these Israelites when they were in Egypt. I'm telling you, we need the Moses now. We need the Moses. Because on all fronts, nothing is working. On all fronts, tell me which area of the economy that you can hold and say yes. Ordinary to send money. Look at what is going on there now. Your money, the money I work for, you can't even send it out.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Darlington. I do appreciate you. All right, so let's quickly see if we can do a few WhatsApp messages. Then we move to another story because we're almost due for a break. So this says, good evening, Precious. This is AY from Moshi. So this present government is not concerned about what we consume at all. I was so angry when Mr. Abiodun was telling us about how our agri-products used to be in the 80s, 90s, and VOP Business Seminar last Saturday. And he said, Precious, Jude really offended most of us this afternoon. He brought APC campaign spokesman to the studio and asked us to ask questions. We asked some questions and Jude didn't allow the man to provide the answer to our various questions. I wish the spokesman is here now to provide an answer to what happened to our agri products under the present administration. Perhaps there was no time for that. He would not deliberately disallow the man not to answer questions. I don't think that's correct. Perhaps there was no time and all of that. Maybe your question was out of the conversation, out of the line of conversation, and that's why I apologize for that. I do apologize on our behalf. All right, so let's go back to what we were discussing about before we move to the crux of the matter, which is like another gossip we have. Let me just also remind you about what we've been talking about, that the executive governor of Ogun State, Adedapo Abiodun, said today that the African Quality Assurance Center, which is the AQAC, that was launched today, is aimed at promoting quality products and boosting exports in Africa. So speaking with, of course, at the front line of the ceremony of the Africa Quality Assurance in Ogun State, the governor noted that the state, being the pioneer of the center across Africa, would further facilitate efficient trade across the continent. There were also other speakers in the event, one of which was Professor Benedict Orama, who is the chairman board of directors Afrexim Bank. I have to end it that way. Said that the African Quality Assurance Center, AQAC, is an initiative of Afrexim in collaboration with Bureau Veritas, was established to ensure that products are produced in Africa meet safety standard and global competitiveness. You'd recall that early this year, we heard that both European countries and shippers rejected at least 82% of African produce. I did tell you that earlier, that 82% of Nigeria's export and agro-allied products were rejected in Europe and shippers. And one of the reasons that was given for those rejections is the fact that some of our produce carried too much chemical that is too high for human consumption. And even one of the callers, Mr. Darlington, did also mention that. So with this quality assurance center, do we think it makes it easy for you to even, in fact, the testing starts from the soil, so that the soil is being tested, especially for those who are in large scale farming. The testing starts from the soil, and the preparation starts from the soil prior to even before putting in the seedlings and before harvesting, just to ensure that your produce will meet that standard. So there's quite a lot to this, right? And we're hoping that the continent makes the most of it at the end of the day. So the Minister of Trade and Investment, Mr. Ni Adebayo, also represented the President, Muhammadu Buhari, at this event. And just like Mr. Darlington has said, we do hope that it will actually stand the light of day. All right, Lagos, we'll be moving to our next conversation right now. We want to talk about online in-laws. A particular man of God has come to say, people of God that are married, remove your marriage from online in-laws. We'll look at that. And is it really a thing that can affect marriage? After this break, Lagos, stay with us. This is Voice of the People FM, and it is Evening Rush. Stay with us.
If you want to be heard, say it here. Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. 90.3 FM.
Papa, mama, brother, sister, this Lagos must work for all of us. Everybody
Oh yes, Lagos people, Papa, mama, sister, brother, auntie.